Oh mata e matangi Oh loto no maina.
Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy back with another video for BCG Disney Week, and oh boy, this was the one video for BCG Disney Week I was looking forward to the most, because today I'll be reviewing the new Disney animated film, Moana. So Moana follows a teenage girl named Ariel. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's Moana, duh. The daughter of the chief, who sets off on a journey to go find the demigod Maui so that he can return the heart that he stole from the goddess Tefiti in order to save her dying village. Now, to say that I was looking forward to this film would be a huge understatement. I was dying to see this film. The moment that they announced this about 2 or 3 years ago, saying that this would be the first Polynesian princess, I was like, my body is ready. Please, Disney, please, can I have it now? Just please give it to me now. I want to see this. I want to see Moana. And the more and more I saw of it, the more promotional material they released, the look of the characters, the trailer, the music, I was just super ecstatic. I mean, not only do we have a Polynesian princess, but it's all island theme. Island setting, island music, island weather, the ocean. I mean, I am from an island. I am from Guam. I love Guam. Shout out to Guam. So you can imagine a kid who grew up on an island, who considers himself an islander. I couldn't wait to see this film. This is the film I've been waiting for Disney to do for the longest of times. And so, I finally got to see it. And what did I think of it? Well, let's get to it. First thing I must praise about this film is that they nailed ancient island culture. From the customs, the traditions, the overall look of the village, the way that their society works, their boats. I mean, when I looked at their boats, I'm like, God, they really did their homework. Even most of the music perfectly captures island life. And I won't deny that while watching the film, I felt a sense of nostalgia. I mean, just seeing the ocean, the sunset, the villages, it reminded me so much of my time growing up on Guam. And it kind of made me homesick for my island home. I kind of wanted to go back to Guam. I wish this film came out when I was on Guam so I could watch it while I was on Guam. That's the only thing I'm kind of upset about. I wish this would have came out like last year when I was back on Guam. But what made all the island elements really pop out to me? Well, that's all attributed to the glorious and colorful animation in this film. This is some top tier animation from Disney. Probably the best animation I've seen from the studio thus far. I mean, just the way that the ocean looks. It looks so inviting and warm. It looks exactly like it would look like if you were on an island. And also the way that the characters look. Again, great attention to detail when it came to presenting the look of the islanders. They look very authentic. Next, let's talk about the music. I freaking adored it. Every single musical number and score. Now, I will admit that initially when I heard the songs, they didn't really stand out to me. I didn't feel like they really popped, particularly the Disney numbers. All the island songs, they were instant hits. The moment I heard them, I fell in love with them. In fact, there's this one island song called We Know the Way. Every time I hear it, guys, without fail, I would get goosebumps. My skin would just rise, my hair would rise, everything in my body would just be surging with energy. I would just hear, away, away, and all of a sudden just this rush of energy and nostalgia. I feel like I'm back on the island again. It felt so euphoric to hear that song. And again, it perfectly captures the spirit of island life and of adventure and exploration that the ancient islanders used to do. But yeah, some of the musical numbers by Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame just didn't register with me. They didn't really capture my attention. They didn't give me a sense of wonderment when I heard them, because I felt like they lacked a sense of pop or flair or pizzazz that's to be expected in a Disney musical. I kind of sat there disappointed, saying, this is the guy that everyone has been praising so much and saying how great he is for Hamilton. Now granted, the music in Hamilton is great. I heard it and I love its unique style. And some of that style does get snuck in to Moana. There's a song where he kind of puts his style in it and I'm like, oh, I see what you did there, Lin. That was actually pretty good. But again, when I first heard it, didn't really care much for it. I felt like it was kind of weak. It wasn't until I heard it over and over and over again that I'm actually addicted to the songs now. One of my favorites is Maui's song called You're Welcome. Not only does it perfectly capture Maui's personality, but it's so freaking infectious and catchy and upbeat, you can't help but want to sing along. I mean, what can I say except you're welcome! God, that song is stuck in my head. You know what? After this video, I might just have to hear that song again. That's how catchy that song is. The film's story, while being a tad too long, was still a fun and exciting adventure story following Moana as she traverses the seas for the first time in her life, trying to find this demigod Maui so he can return the heart that he stole from the goddess Te Fiti. I had fun watching the journey, and I did enjoy the story for the most part. But the real question is, does the story keep your attention throughout? We'll talk about that a bit more later. One thing that I will give the film story props for is that it doesn't follow the conventional Disney princess storyline. It actually takes a lot of deviations from the formula. Now, I won't say what those deviations are, as I do feel like they are kind of spoilerish and I don't want to ruin the experience for any of you. But one that I will divulge, as I don't think that it is a spoiler, is the fact that throughout the entire film, Moana doesn't have a love interest. Not at all. It's just basically herself, and she hangs out with Maui, and it's very platonic. I thought that was refreshing, because not every Disney princess needs to have a love interest to be interesting. She can be interesting on her own, and Moana is definitely interesting on her own. She doesn't need a love interest to come and help her. So again, props to you, movie, for standing out not only for being an island film, but also not following the same beaten path as most Disney princess films. And now it's time for a quick fan art break.
Well, anyway, let me say you're welcome. From a wonderful world you know. Hey, it's okay, you're welcome. Well, come to think of it, I gotta go.
And now we're back. And finally, we have the characters. For the most part, much like the story, I thoroughly enjoyed them. I won't deny that a majority of them are cliche archetypes, especially Moana's father, who is basically just King Triton with darker skin and on land. He basically is very overprotective about his daughter. You can't leave the island. You must stay on the island. You hear me, Moana? You can't go anywhere. And that kind of annoyed me. I wanted more nuance with this character, but hey, you know, that's the type of father character they want in the film, fine. But that doesn't mean I gotta like him. But I'll tell you who I did like, Moana. In fact, not liked, loved. I love Moana's character in this film. She's everything that I've come to know and love about the modern Disney princess. Headstrong, determined, adventurous, can stand on her own 2 feet, and can solve her conflicts by thinking outside of the box. Hell, the ending alone proved that. She is the literal personification of all the great things from Disney princesses nowadays. I also found myself liking Maui in the film, though it was a bit of a rocky start because when we first meet him, he comes off a bit annoying with his arrogant personality and many quips, and he made this one pulp culture reference that made me cringe so hard. I was like, Disney, stop it, okay? Don't go back to the early 2000s where all of your films had to make these modern pulp culture references to connect with the kids. You don't need to do that. Kill that. But as this journey pushed on, the characters slowly started growing on me. I started seeing a much more developed character with many more layers than I came to expect. You started to learn the reasons behind his arrogant behavior, why is he so boastful, why he's so distant with Moana and doesn't want to help her out. You learn a lot about the character, and he's just so likable. But I think you could attribute that to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because, I mean, the guy is so lovable. How could you not love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? And I truly adored the growing friendship between Moana and Maui. Sure, it was rocky at first, but most great friendships start off that way. As it goes on, you start feeling a really strong bond forming between them. They had impeccable chemistry and great banter, just seeing them play off of each other. And both help each other to grow as characters. Maui with teaching Moana how to sail and navigate, and Moana helping Maui get back on his feet to become the awesome demigod that he always said that he was, and also to be a better person. But as much as I thoroughly enjoyed watching this film, I did have some major issues with it. The absolute biggest issue that plagues this film was its pacing. my God, did it drag! The reasons for the excruciatingly slow pacing in the film is one, scenes that went on for far too long that they overstayed their welcome, and two, too much sidetracking / filler. There are scenes in this film that would stretch on for 10 to 15 minutes with really no purpose. It's just there to kind of like pad out the film. Heck, the first half of this film is spent on the island, and they spent way too much on the build-up to the adventure. They were building this adventure up so hard, and I was just like, can we just get to the adventure? We've been on this island for way too long. At this point, all the other Disney princesses would have been on their quest already, yet Moana has yet to get on her boat and set sail. Like, come on, chop chop, hurry up, man. And then there's the countless times where the story would get sidetracked with the characters having to go on some filler mission to go pick up something, or have to fight this one person, or have like a deep conversation, or have a deep revelation, and it would just deviate from the main story, and it would take forever for them to get back on track. That is honestly the biggest flaw with this film, the lack of trimming. They needed to trim some of these scenes down, maybe even take away some of these side quests and side plots. Heck, there's this one side plot where they go to this one place and they meet this one being. I won't say who it is, but that character didn't really add much to the story. The character was just there for that one scene, and then you never hear about him, you never see him again. So why? Why even set this character up if we weren't even gonna do anything with him? Sure, the visuals for the character were orgasmic. They're beautiful, gorgeous, but again, I must ask, what's the point? What's the purpose? Are we just here for the visuals and that's it? No. He has to contribute to the story in some way. You can argue that it's world building, but I felt like it was totally unnecessary. And it's because of that, it's really hard to be fully engaged into the film, because you feel like it's such a drag. It's just chugging along at such a slow pace that you kind of get bored and sleepy and I'm sorry. Oh, what are they for? Oh, it's a giant volcano monster. Ooh, yeah, let's go. Let's fight. Oh, it's over now? Okay, well, back to the conversation. The last word I would ever want to use to describe Moana is boring. But there are scenes that are just so boring. Like, can we just get back to the main story already? But overall, guys, while I did have a major issue with the pacing of the film, which completely soiled the experience for me, I will say that I still thoroughly enjoyed Moana. In fact, that's the perfect way of describing Moana. It's thoroughly enjoyable. And that's why I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It is an enjoyable film. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Moana. I would love to know what you guys thought about the film as well. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it your favorite film of the year? Is it your favorite Disney film of all time? Or did you find it really boring and slow and daunting? You just didn't care about the characters and just made you want to... I'm sorry, almost fell asleep there. And let me know, what is your favorite film that takes place at sea or on an island? Comment below. Let me know. I apologize that this video is late. I had a lot to do because I'm setting up for Thanksgiving and all that stuff, but this video is out now. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. More Disney Week videos are on their way. And as always, if you would like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic crew, and not miss out on a single BCG Disney Week video, hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony II, the Islander known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.